Okay, most of the fabrication that we do, they are done on silicon wafer, but there are certain applications such as optoelectronics where you need to make say an LED which emits lights with a certain color. In such cases silicon is not a good material, so in those cases specific materials, so different materials which are suitable for different colors are used. So these are all depending on the properties, okay, optical properties of the material. Now so coming to the structure of silicon, what I said is that it has an FCC lattice. Okay, silicon has silicon is essentially forming an FCC lattice with the two silicon atoms associated with each lattice point, which are separated by a vector, and the vector is a by 4, a by 4, a by 4. So these are basically x component, y component and z component. And the name of that structure is called diamond structure. So the structure of silicon is diamond structure, which is same as the structure of diamond. So where we have carbon atoms, but in the case of silicon the carbon atoms are replaced by silicon atoms. That's the only difference. So FCC, if you look at FCC structure, it's a simple cubic structure. It is one of the variations of simple cubic structure. So there are silicon atoms sitting at the corner of a cube. Now apart from these atoms in the corner, you have in order to make it FCC, you will have them sitting on each of the face. Okay, so there are 4 faces. So let me denote say this as my x-axis, and so I will take this as origin, and then this one as y-axis, and then this will become z-axis. Okay, so I hope that is clear. We have x-axis, so this is x-axis, maybe I will use a different color. So this is my x-axis, and then 90 degree to that I have y-axis, and then 90 degree to this, both x and y axis, you have z-axis. So origin is this particular point. Now there is a face on the x-z axis, and behind it also there is a face, and then right side there is a face, left side there is a face, and then on the top there is a face, and the bottom there is a face. So this is FCC lattice. Okay, now each lattice point is associated to which 2 silicon atoms are associated. So in order to show that the second silicon atom, so you need to, so this is a by 2, and you take a by 4, and then up a by 4. So that will give you the location of, so there are 2 silicon atoms associated with each lattice point. So as you can see, some of the silicon atom will go out of the unit cell. This is the top, this is the right side, they all go outside, whereas the bottom one, it will be inside, and the left surface also it will be inside, and the front surface, that will also go inside. The corner one here at the origin, that will also go inside, but all other will be going outside. Okay, so one more is there. So there are two atoms associated with each lattice point, and these atoms are separated by a vector a/4 in x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So if you now look, what are the atoms? The second, so you can think of this as a second FCC lattice, which is over and above the first lattice. Okay, so you can think about like this as another FCC lattice. This is another alternate way of thinking about it. Okay. So this is also forming because for every atom in the first lattice there is a atom in the second lattice. So only thing is that it is shifted by a/4, a/4, a/4. Okay, so this way also you can think about. So if you are thinking in this way, then we can write so diamond structure as two interpenetrating FCC lattice. So if you are thinking in this way, each FCC lattice will have only one silicon atom, with each lattice having single silicon atom associated with every lattice point. So this is an alternate way of looking at diamond structure. So you can look at it in any way. First way, I told you that you imagine a FCC lattice, and then associated with each lattice point there are two silicon atoms separated by a/4, a/4, a/4. Second way of thinking about is like you think about two FCC lattice which is interpenetrating each other, and they are displaced by a vector a/4, a/4, a/4. Okay, so diamond structure has two interpenetrating FCC lattice shifted by a/4, 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 with each lattice having single atom associated with every lattice point. Okay, so this is an alternate way of looking at it. But whatever way you look at, you will see that if you are looking at in the second method, then this orange lattice which I have drawn here, or the blue atoms, out of which only 4 of them will go inside, and the remaining 10 will be going outside. So each FCC lattice will have how many atoms? 1 each at the corner and 6 in the faces. There are therefore 14 lattice points in each FCC lattice. So in the second FCC lattice, only 4 of those lattice points are going to be inside the first unit cell of the first lattice. So now, so therefore, altogether there will be 8 atoms in the unit cells, which is spanned by a length A. So this length is this is called the lattice constant. A is called lattice constant. So the volume of the unit cell is basically A cube. Then number of silicon atoms inside unit cell is equal to 4 plus 4, 8. So 4 coming from the first lattice and 4 coming from the second lattice. Okay, so the calculation is for the first lattice, you see that the corner atoms are shared by 8 electrons, 8 unit cells. Okay, the corner atoms are shared by 8 unit cells. Okay, so and there are 8 atoms like that. So therefore we have 1 by 8 into 8, which is 1. So one atom will come from the corner, which belongs to the unit cell, and then we have in the face, we have 6 faces, and each of them are shared by 2 unit cell. Okay, so half is what effectively belongs to one particular unit cell, and there are 6 of them, so half into 6 is 3. So that is how we get the first 4, and the second 4 is because we have introduced the second FCC lattice, out of which 4 of them have gone inside the first unit cell. So therefore 4 plus 4, which is equal to 8. So therefore volume density and the value of AA is it was 5.43 Armstrong. That is the value of A for silicon atom. Okay, this is only for silicon atom. It is actually depending on which species of atom. So for silicon crystal, the lattice constant A is 5.43 Armstrong. So volume density is basically 8 divided by 5.43 into 10 raised to, usually it is expressed per centimeter cube. So 5.43 into 10 raised to minus 8 centimeter, the whole cube. So this if we evaluate, it will come around as 5 into 10 raised to approximately 5 into 10 raised to 22 atoms, silicon atoms per centimeter cube. So that is the volume density. Okay, the number of silicon atoms in a centimeter cube is 5 into 10. This is a humongously large number. Okay, so that idea of number of silicon atoms should be known to you. So when you talk about the properties, again these numbers will come into the calculation. So this many number of silicon atoms are there in the 1 centimeter cube of silicon material crystal. Okay, we are talking about only crystal. Okay, earlier we divided silicon material. It can exist in 3 different ways: polycrystalline, amorphous, or any solid can exist in 3 different ways, but we are only talking here about the crystalline material, single crystalline material. Okay, so next thing is like different planes we saw, and each plane will have a different surface density. So again let me so this is my x-axis, and then we have a y-axis, and then we have, always we prefer right hand coordinate system when we draw this. So this is one way of drawing a right hand coordinate system. When you go from x to y, the right hand thumb will be pointing in the so you curl all your 4 fingers from x to y, then your thumb will be pointing in the z. So that is how you understand whether it is a right hand coordinate system or not. Okay, so now if I draw, so this is my lattice constant, so this is like a square, and then again so we are going to talk about different planes. So there is silicon atom on the surface. So So there are total 6 surface silicon atoms in each of the surface, and then I am going to draw only those which are inside. So one which is associated with this will come inside, and the one which is associated with this will also come inside, and this left surface also what is associated will come inside. Okay, so there will be 4 coming inside, so and also front surface that will also have an atom coming inside. Okay, so now if we consider a plane, so the simplest plane is like 100 plane, which is like parallel to xz, or you can say this plane. So this plane we have seen it is 100 plane. So if you find out the surface density, I think we have already done it, of 100 plane. It is basically the number of atoms. So number of atoms is each at the corner is actually only having 1/4. So 1/4 into 4, there are 4 such corner atom, and there is one fully inside which is at the face, plus 1 which is at the face, divided by a square. Okay, so this is equal to 2 by a square. Okay, so that is the surface density of 100 plane. So then what we did not do in the last class is the surface density of say 110 plane. Okay, so in order to look at the 110 plane, so let us draw the plane. So that plane is basically so 110 plane means it is going parallel to x and y. So the way I have drawn x, y, z, it will be this plane. Okay, so this plane, this is the plane. Okay, and since everything is symmetric from every direction, you could also consider this other diagonal also, but whatever it be, so we need to know how many atoms are there in this plane. Okay, part of that area that we have shaded. So that is basically so there is 4 atoms which are at the corner. Okay, one in each corner. So let me just do a 2-dimensional representation of that. Okay, so the height is a, that is same as the lattice constant. Now what is the length of the diagonal? It is basically root 2a. Okay, because if you see x-axis, it's a cubic lattice, it is a, y-axis also it is a cubic lattice, therefore it has same dimension, so its diagonal will be root 2a. And then so if you consider this, so the corner atoms will be only 1/4 of the atom will be coming here from each corner. So let me make it a little more big, so you can see that 1/4 of an atom will be present here. Then apart from that there is a half atom which is coming like this. Okay, so the way I have drawn it is not very clear. So this atom actually it is along the diagonal, okay, the top surface atom, so that half will be there, half will be shared by the area which is going to the next square or rectangle. And then similarly there is one at the bottom also. Here this atom also will be there. Now apart from this, if you closely look, then what you will see is that the atoms which are coming from the left surface, okay, so that will also be, and also the front surface, both of them when you shift by a by 4, a by 4, a by 4, it will land up in this. So there are two more atoms, and these are like full atoms. This is coming from the second FCZ lattice. So this is how it will be coming. From this picture, I think it is not that clear, but if you correctly take the dimensions, so all you need to do is basically move a by 4 to the x-axis, a by 4 to the y-axis, and then a by 4 to the z-axis, and the resulting point will be in this plane when it is from the left surface, from this surface. And similarly from the surface which is on the front, that is this surface, also there is a face atom. If you move it a by 4, a by 4, a by 4, a by 4, again that looks like it is on the plane. But the left one, it because of the way I have drawn it doesn't look like it is on the plane. But if you draw it properly, then okay, so move, so it will be something like this. So these two will be on the plane, whereas the one which comes from this corner will not be on the plane, okay, because this is a by 2, okay, a by 2, a by 2, a by 2, if you do, then it will come, but here it is not on the plane. And similarly there is also the one which is coming from the bottom, okay, so that will also go beyond this plane, so they will not be. So out of the 4 which is associated with the second FCZ lattice, only 2 of them will come in this 110 plane. So what I am showing is 110 plane. So now you can count what is the number, surface density. So surface density is equal to, so count the total number. So 2 is coming from the new FCZ lattice, and 1 by 4, 1 by 4, 1 by 4, that will be 1 plus half into 2. So 1 by 4 into 4 plus half into 2 plus 2. So that divided by, what is the area? So root 2 a square. It's area of the rectangle. So which is basically, so this will amount to 2 plus 2, 4. So 4 by root 2 a square. 4 by root 2 a square, which you can write also as 2 root 2 by a square. So you can see that if you compare 100 with 110, you will see that the surface density of 110 is root 2 times larger than the surface density of 100, and therefore 100 is preferred with respect to 110 because the surface density is lower in 100, and therefore there are lesser number of atoms which are available on the surface, and therefore the reactivity of the surface will be smaller. That is the reason. Now coming to the 110, another important plane is 111. So surface density of 111 plane. So again, if I draw the cube, this time I will just draw the cube. Okay, and if I mark x, y, z, so as before, so this is O, and this is my, so this is my x-axis, then this is my y-axis, and then this is my z-axis. So 1 1 1 means x-intercept, y-intercept is z-intercept, all of them are 1. So therefore the plane should pass through this points. So if you join it, you will get this. So let me just draw that. So if you can imagine this plane, which is basically joined by these 3 points. So that is the point that we are talking. So with respect to origin, origin is here. So you can consider these 3 points. One is this is 1, or you can say this point is basically A 0 0, and here similarly on the y-axis you have 0 A 0, the z-axis you have 0 0 A. So if you join these 2 points, you will get something like a triangular shape. So let me redraw that triangular shape and put the atoms also. Okay, so there are atoms in the corner like this. Each corner has an atom. So how much percentage of the atom is coming into this area? It is only 1/6, because this angle is basically, it's an equilateral triangle, right? Which is making a 60 degree with the edges. So total angle is 360, out of which only 60 is coming. So it is only 1/6. So 1/6, and there are 3 atoms. So in this particular area you have 1/6 into 3, and then there is a atom sitting on the, there is each of the surface. So the bottom, the left, and the front. Okay, so those 3 surface atoms, they will have basically half of the atom shared with the adjacent similar area. So you have half coming like this on each edges. Another half coming here. Now another thing is like, what about the 4 additional atoms that came from the second FCZ? So if you clearly look at it, what will happen is that the first FCZ, if you have A by 4, this is A by 2. If you do A by 2, A by 2, A by 2, okay, so A by 4, A by 4 if you do, then it will only come somewhere here. So that will not come into this. Okay, A by 4, A by 4, A by 4, it will come only here. And then from the left surface, if you do A by 4, A by 4, A by 4, it will be going above this. And similarly from the front surface, if you do, clearly it will go outside. Okay, so from the left, from the front, as well as from the bottom, the 4 atoms which are coming. So one is from the corner, so that will be on the left side of this plane, and the one which is coming from the surface, 3 surface atoms, which will go, all the 3 will go to the right side of the plane. So they will not be on the plane. So only things which are on the plane is this corner atom and this edge atoms. So edge atoms contribute 1/2, and there are also 3 of them. So surface density, if I say surface density is this divided by and the area. So we need to find the area of it. So the base of this triangle is basically the diagonal, so that is root 2a. Every side is root 2a, but this is a triangle, equilateral triangle. So the area of a equilateral triangle, you can write it as half into base, okay, base into height. So what is this height? What is this height? So that you can find out, height is basically square root of so this is also root 2a, so 2a square, so square of root 2a is 2a square, that is the hypotenuse, minus this half of the thing is basically a by root 2, so a square by 2. Okay, so I applied Pythagoras theorem. So one side is root 2a, other side is a by root 2. Okay, so this is a by root 2, half of root 2a, and this is root 2a. So hypotenuse square minus this adjacent square will give you this height square. So then you take the square root. So that is basically so 2 minus half is basically 1.5 or 3 by 2. So you can write it as 3 root of 3 by 2, right? 3 by 2 and then a. So this has to be multiplied with root 3 by root 2 into a. So this root is basically going in the entire fraction, okay, 3 by 2. So that will be equal to, so if you look at this, this is 3 by 6, which is 1 by 2. 1 by 2 plus 3 by 2 is basically 1 by 2 plus our half plus 1.5, which is 2. So 2 by, then here I can cancel this root 2 and then there is a square and there is root 3 by 2 a square, which may be written as 4 by root 3 a square. So now we got 3 values of surface density. The first one was 2 by a square. So let me rewrite it. So 1 0 0 plane, we had a surface density as 2 by a square. 2 by a square, and then we had 2 root 2 by a square, that is for 1 1 0 plane. And then we just now found out for 1 1 1 plane. So this is 2 root 2 by a square. The last one is 4 by root 3 a square. Okay, so now which is the most preferred out of this? The one which is the smallest value is the most preferred. So if you see these 3 values, so definitely 2 root 2 is greater than 2. So you can say that 1 0 0 is better than 1 1 0. But what about comparison with the so 4 by root 3 we need to know. So square root of 3 is basically 1.73. So let me just write it as 4 divided by that. So 4 divided by 1.73. So this will come as 2.31, approximately 2.31 a square. Whereas this one, which is 2 into root 2, is 2.82. This will come in the denominator. So this will be 2.82 by a square, and this is 2 by a square. So what you can see is that compared to 110 and 111, you can see that 111 is better. So the order of reactivity of silicon crystal surface or plane. So the most reactive is 110, and the least reactive is 100. So which is more preferred? So 100, then you have 111, and then you have 110. So 110 is hardly used for fabricating electronic devices. So 100 is the most preferred, and then certain cases 111 is also sometimes used. Okay, so out of these three, this is the most preferred, and this one is the least preferred because it is highly reactive. Okay, all right. So that is basically the silicon structure and volume density and surface density. Now you may wonder why silicon has this kind of structure. What about other material? Why are they not forming this structure if they have a different structure? So before we go into it, so let us look at this silicon structure in another alternate viewpoint. Okay, another viewpoint, and that is we look at how many nearest neighbors are there for a particular silicon atom. Okay, so we saw the structure, but if you take one silicon atom, how many nearest neighbors, that means how many other silicon atoms are there which are closely connected with any particular silicon atom that you take. And if you look at that, say if I see that from this particular, or maybe the first picture, if you look at from this picture, I can pick any silicon atom. So the one which I will pick will be, okay, so let us pick this particular silicon atom. So this is basically the A by 4 shifted version of the corner atom, and the closest one, which is separated by this particular vector A by 4, one of them is this, and the other closest one being one on the front surface, one on the left surface, and one on the bottom surface. These are the three nearest neighbors. Every other silicon atom is farther from this atom. So okay, so I am looking at only these 4 atoms which are basically the nearest neighbors. So if you just take that part then you can see so each silicon atom you can think about it now like a tetrahedron. So this is the corner atom, and then you have the face at the bottom, and then face at the left side, or let me just draw it tetrahedron. I hope you are aware of tetrahedron structure. Tetrahedron. So tetrahedron is basically okay. So in order to, if you take 4 equilateral triangle of same size, okay, so the way to make a tetrahedron is like that. You have to just take a cardboard and cut 4 equilateral triangle. Okay, so all of them of same edge length, like this. So this is one equilateral triangle. Then you make another, which is and then put it like this, and then another, you put it like this, and another you put it like this. Okay, now you can make a closer shape. So you just fold this one, okay, and you fold this one, and then you fold this one, and join. So you can join them. The resulting shape is what you call as tetrahedron. Okay, so all you need, you can do this yourself. You just cut 4 equilateral triangles using some cardboard. All should have same size, and then you paste, join these two sides, join these two sides, join these two sides, and then fold it, and then join all the other edges which are coming together. So that will give you a shape which will look like something like this. Something like a pyramid, a triangular pyramid. Okay, where so that shape is basically the tetrahedron shape. So this shape is a very peculiar shape. Why? Because you have only 4 sides, and you have 4 corners. 4 corners and 4 corners and 4 faces. Okay, and each of them are triangular. So this is what is called as a tetrahedron. And now if you imagine a silicon atom sitting in each corners, okay, and then you can always locate a point at the center of the tetrahedron, which is inside. Okay, so this is the nearest neighbors. So this is where, so this is inside, and they are like this. Is it clear? I'm not sure whether maybe the way I have drawn doesn't make it very. Or a different way of looking at is looking at tetrahedron is you draw a cube. So that is not a cube. You draw a cube. So this is a cube, all are same side, but now instead of a you take a by 2. So this cube has width a by 2, a by 2, a by 2. width, breadth, height, all are a by 2. And then you put, so there is a so suppose this was our earlier origin, you put a silicon atom there, and then at a by 2 you have a silicon atom, and then you will have a silicon atom at this point. This is also a location where you have silicon atom. So the original square is like a double size, or a cube is like the double size, like this. And so this one is basically coming at the center, face center. And similarly, there is a second face there. This one will be at the face. Okay, and then the bottom. So there's a bottom face. So there it will be coming like this. So you have 4 silicon atoms like this. So these are the 4 silicon atom. Now if you join, so it's like a cube. You take a cube and then on diametrically opposite points you put a silicon atom at the bottom, and on the top square you put cross diagonally. Okay, so here we put on the bottom of the cube, we put diagonally like this, and then opposite way you put it on the top. And then you imagine, so a by 4 if you take, so that will come to the center. It will come to the center of the cube. So this is not at the corner of this cube, but it is at the center, like a body center. And now if you draw this, so this is a tetrahedron. Okay, so if you assume each of this form a shape like this, so that is what is called tetrahedron. So there are multiple ways you can visualize the same thing. Okay, so this is an alternate way. So the way I have drawn, again, this should not be thought of as sitting at the corner. It is at the center. So this is our cube, and then somewhere at the center you have, this okay. So this is another way. So what did I say? You take a cube of a by 2 width, and then put 2 silicon atom at the bottom like this. Top silicon atom you put in cross manner, and then put one at the body center. Okay, of the a by 2 square or a by 2 cube. So that will also give you. So the point is that each silicon atom has 4 nearest neighbors. So each silicon atom in the crystal, and this is true if you take any other silicon atom also. The silicon atom in the crystal has 4 nearest neighbors. Oh, sorry, nearest neighbors. Nearest neighbors. So each silicon atom in the crystal has 4 nearest neighbors. Or in other words, silicon atom make bonds with 4 other silicon atom. Every silicon atom makes bond with 4 other silicon atom. So that's the, or every silicon atom enter into bonds, chemical bond. Okay, it is basically valence what do you call covalent bond. Covalent bond with 4 other nearest neighbors. So in a this you can represent in a 2D manner this, okay. So this 3D is a tetrahedral way these bonds are coming. Okay, so this center atom basically it will create an sp3 hybridization. So let me just draw that. So sp3 hybridization like this. Okay, and this orbitals are going to direct to each of this coordinates where there are other silicon atoms like this, and then they will also have similar, so there is a bonding like this. Okay, so there are 4 bonding. Now the silicon atom has valency which is Si 40, right? This is the number of electrons. So if you look at the electronic configuration, it is 1s2, then 2s2, 2p6, then 3s2, and 3p2. So this will be the way the electronic configuration of a single silicon atom. Okay, so this is for atom. Now when these atoms are brought together to form silicon crystal, what will happen is that different silicon atoms will interact. So the outer shell has basically 4 electrons. So that is what we call as the valence electron. So there are 4 valence electron, 2s2 and 3. But when you bring many silicon atoms together near to each other, they will begin to interact with each other, and as a result one of the atom in the s orbital will go to p orbital. So you can then denote it like this. So one atom, earlier it is like this. So this is our 3s orbital, and then you have 3p orbital, one like this and one like this. So this was our 3s and 3p valence shell. Electrons are occupying like this. But when you bring these atoms near to each other, what will happen is that they will, when they form the crystal, what is happening is that they will get hybridized. So first of all, this electron will go to the p orbital, p suborbital or p orbital. So then it will first look like this. Okay, so 1 in s orbital and then 3 in p orbitals, and then what will happen, they will merge together. So this is basically px, py and pz, and then there is s. So they will all combine to form what is called as so there are 4 electrons in 4 different orbital, one in s orbital, one in px orbital, py orbital, pz orbital, and they will all merge together and create a new orbital. That is because of the interaction with the other silicon atom, then we will get 4 sp3. So this is a hybridized orbital. Hybrid. Okay. So it's basically a combination, linear combination of one s orbital and px, py, pz. Okay. So there will be 4 of them. So it is called 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals. So that is what I have drawn in this blue. Okay. So you must be knowing how the s orbital and px, py orbital look like. S orbital looks like this. So this is how s orbital look. Then if I take this as x direction, then this is how px will look like. This is py, and then on the z axis you have bumble shape, that is pz orbit. So this is x axis and this is your y axis, and vertically I am putting the z axis. But when you combine all of this, you will get something like this. After combining, you will get 4 orbital. So one will look like this. Okay. So each will be looking in 4 different directions, which are neither x or y or z or so it will be in the direction of the tetrahedron corner. Okay, so that is how it will be. But the shape I will just draw. The shape of the orbital will be, it won't be like symmetrical, it will be something like this. One side you have a bigger region and the other side you have a smaller region. Whereas p orbital, it is like a symmetric, okay, on both sides. But here, because of the combination with x, s and py, pz, you will get this kind of, and there will be a director into 4 directions. So there are 4 such orbitals which are at different angles. Okay, so that's basically happening when you bring together many silicon atoms together. So they enter into this kind of bond. And why this is happening with silicon atom? Because there are 4 valence electrons, and in order to satisfy 8 electrons in the outer shell, it will try to make a covalent bond with. So we can now look at this like a 2D picture. So you have a silicon atom, and then, so this is a 2D version. The actual picture is a tetrahedron. So since it is difficult to draw, you can draw like this. Okay. So every silicon atom in this manner, it will have 4 nearest neighbors. Okay. So this is like this. So if you take a particular silicon atom, there are 4 nearest neighbors, and one of the so it has 4 electrons. It will share these 4 electrons with the neighboring atoms, and the neighboring atom also has 4 electrons. So that will be shared with this particular atoms. Okay, so let me just denote it with 2 different colors. One comes from the other. Okay, so these are the neighbor. Okay, so blue belongs to the central and the red belongs to the neighbors. But when they share this, they will have 8 electrons satisfied, okay, in the outer shell. So that is why the tetrahedron shape is the symmetric way of bringing 4 neighbors in order to satisfy this bond. So that is why it takes that particular shape. In order to form the tetrahedral shape, the unit lattice will begin to look like like a FCC lattice with 2 silicon atoms for each lattice point. So that structure actually come out of the properties or the requirement of the outer shell to satisfy 8 electrons. Okay, so that is the origin of this. So any solid material, it will have a different structure, and the structure actually it comes out of the the requirement to satisfy the some number of electrons in the outer shell. So this will be satisfied with the help of some bonding mechanism. So for silicon, since 4 atoms are required to satisfy 8 electrons, so therefore it will form a tetrahedral shape in such a way that they will all be equidistant. So tetrahedral shape is a particular shape in which if you want to put 4 additional atom around a single atom, equidistance, okay, equidistance from the central atom, also equidistance between those atoms. So automatically that shape will come, or the structure will come from this requirement. So when this bonding is created, then it minimizes the energy, and the length is actually determined by the optimum length where you minimize the energy. If you go more nearer, that means a smaller tetrahedron, if you try to make, the energy increases, so it cannot go more closer. If you go away, that will also increase the energy. So there is a minimum of energy where the bond length is defined. Alright, so we will continue after taking a 5 minutes break.